to be treating our plantar or the bottom of your feet. You're going to need one of a couple things, either a golf ball or a lacrosse ball
or a tennis ball. And we only say something like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball because those two things specifically, they're a larger surface area. And at any time, doesn't matter where we are, feet, arms, doesn't matter. The larger the surface area of something that you're working with, the less it's going to actually hurt, all right? So the smaller surface area, you're getting a little more specific, larger, less specific. But also, tennis balls are real great for those of you who already are experiencing plantar fasciitis. You guys are already experiencing inflammation at the bottom of your feet. So you want to go with something that's going to be softer and less dense and has more surface area like this tennis ball.
Absolutely. And feel free to use a frozen water bottle after these treatments to really take care of some of that extra inflammation.
Yep.
If you're trying to treat those kind of symptoms at home.
Absolutely. And some of the other reasons as to why you want to treat the plantar surface of your foot is because for those of you who are experiencing bunions or your beginning stages of developing a bunion, there's some muscles on the bottom of your feet that actually, they get too tight and they start forcing the bones out of the place and they actually start pushing those bones and developing that bunion. So if you're able to take the tension out of those muscles and elongate them a little bit, you can make sure that those muscles or those bones aren't moving out of place.
Absolutely, and we actually see that quite often with runners in office.
And also, those of you who have flat feet, your feet are probably sore most of the time anyway, as well as in our previous video when we were treating calves, your calf muscles actually attach at the bottom surface of your foot. So it's always good to follow up with that, especially if you have fallen arches or flat feet.
Absolutely.
Right.
So this can help for a multitude of reasons that we could get into in more detail in other videos. But for today, go ahead and grab your ball, and we're going to start treating our feet.
Yep. Let's do this.
You're using a tennis ball today?
Yep.
All right. So I've got a golf ball. Let's start with our left foot. And we're going to start in the arch. There's usually a pretty common trigger point that we can all find right in here and agree upon. Let's see. And if you notice, Bree is adding her leg, her on top, to add a little bit more pressure.
A little bit more pressure, yep. Now I do this in a chair, or I also do it because I do this quite often because my feet are usually sore at the end of the day. I usually take my tennis ball or my golf ball and I'll just have it on the side of my bed and I'll just be standing and I'll just roll my feet out, get a couple of these trigger points out before I go to bed actually.
Yeah, it's nice, especially for runners. You guys need this. Now, if you're in the arch, you should feel a trigger point and you should notice that your big toe is moving a little bit as you roll around this arch, that it wants to flex in. So if you're having big toe immobility issues, this is a really good exercise. And the closer you get up towards the ball of the foot, you're going to notice that you're really affecting that muscle that attaches to the big toe. This is important for runners. This is also important for weightlifters. It's really important for all of us.
Just about anyone, honestly.
Your big toe is important. So now I let myself sink into that trigger point that's just in the top of the arch. I would say like I'm in the top third of my arch. And it started to flex my toe. And I feel that trigger point radiating into the big toe. Are you finding any?
Yeah, so I actually feel this in between my bones, if that makes any kind of a sense. I feel it in between my bones of my foot, and it feels kind of odd, to be honest, but
like
good at the same time.
Like a pulling, like a tension.
Yeah, like my bones are kind of, you know, I don't know, there's tension in between them for sure.
So now I want you guys to go ahead and roll into the center of that arch again. And everybody's got a really good trigger point here.
Can be a little sharp too, so.
Yeah, so if you need to ease up on the pressure, that's okay. Right in the center of the arch. Now let's go ahead and roll towards the back of the arch, towards the heel. Now that one radiates into the inner portion of my heel.
Yep.
This is an area where a lot of people will come in and they say, I have plantar fasciitis pain, but the cortisone shots haven't helped, or I would like to forego surgery or any invasive measures. And they have trigger points that either radiate to the inner portion of the heel or the back of the heel, or they just have pain all along the bottom surface of the foot.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and roll. Now that we've done the arch, we've done the outside of our arch here, let's roll into the middle of the foot. Right in here, and then roll towards your toes, towards the ball of the foot. And you'll notice your toes want to curl. If you have hammer toes, this can also help. And like Bree mentioned, our video for calves, calves need to also be treated along with your feet.
Yep. Especially if you have those hammer toes like we were talking about, or flat feet.
So go ahead and add those two treatments together and work them into your week for a few weeks, and I promise you'll see improvement. Ooh, so I've got some really good ones right here at the ball of my foot. I'm feeling some really good trigger points.
Me too.
Okay, now let's roll around to the spine of the foot, the edge, outer edge, the lateral portion. And we're starting by the pinky toe, and we're gonna work our way back towards the heel. Ooh, lost your ball. And after if you start with a tennis ball, if you needed a softer ball or a larger surface, work your way up to a golf ball. And that way you can get more specific and you can get into some of these deeper layers.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm working my way back towards the heel on the spine of the foot. Ooh, almost lost it. Now, I actually have a really good one. You can see my pinky toe contracting. Look at that. Look at it bending in, totally. Okay, and moving back towards the center of the foot. See if there's anything there that you want to roll out really quick before we move on. Oh, that feels so good. It's like a foot massage at home.
Yeah, now you don't have to ask somebody or beg somebody to do it for you. All right, switch to the other foot.
Yep, let's do the other one. So we're gonna start in the arch of the foot by the big toe. Go ahead and press in. And remember, if you find something, hold it until it releases. If you need more information about how to treat trigger points, how to find them, what are they, how do you release them, check out our Intro to Trigger Point Therapy video. Ooh, I got a bad one there.
Makes my big toe cramp, actually.
You probably need that then. My big toe is turning white in that area and flexing. You see it spasming? Okay, now let's roll into the arch of the foot, right in the center. Everyone has this trigger point, so if you don't treat anything else on your foot, treat this spot.
Oh yeah.
Right here in the arch. Now remember to be patient with your feet. They're at the bottom of your circulatory system. They are not going to heal as fast as your deltoids or your glutes.
And you're on them all day.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what you do, even if you have a desk job, you have to get up, you have to get out of bed, you gotta drive your car, you've gotta, you know, get coffee
And it's a lot of tiny little muscles, and they're supporting your whole body.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if you walked on your hands all day, because that's basically what your foot is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of intricate muscles that are holding up your entire frame. And when we run, our lower leg compartment deals with 3 times our body weight.
Yep.
So they're under a lot of pressure. Now I'm moving into the back portion of the arch, close to the heel.
And I just wanted to show real quick what we're kind of talking about here. So we want to make sure we're getting right up in this region here, okay? So you don't want to be directly on top of the heel, but you want to kind of more scoop up underneath here. That's what she's talking about.
Thank you. Yeah, we want to be as descriptive in these videos as possible because we want you to get as much out of this at home as you can.
Yeah.
And even when we're treating clients in office for plantar fasciitis symptoms, it takes a little while. So again, be patient. If you want to effectively treat your feet and you really need this, do it a few times a week. Try it once a day. It's just a quick video. You can do this.
Yep.
It's worth it to get out of pain.
Oh yeah.
All right, now I'm rolling into the center of the foot and starting at the heel since we were already there, and we're gonna work our way up to the ball. Ooh, there's a good one there for me. That actually radiates into my ankle.
That kind of, this spot here by the heel actually makes the whole bottom part of my foot kind of light up a little bit.
While we're treating this, do you want to share your own story about changing the mobility of your feet and your toes?
Oh yeah, so actually cool little story.
Yeah.
I used to be in the military, and so wearing boots, you know, every day for work. And on top of that, the type of job that I had, I was constantly standing still in one spot. So anyways, my feet, I used to call them, I used to say I had boot foot, actually. Kind of funny and not too great for myself, but I used to have trouble moving my toes and really getting my feet and ankles to kind of move really at all. And fortunately enough, I met Andi, and she taught me all of this different stuff that I could do. And I was religious about stretching my calves and making sure that I was getting my calves worked on. And then also every single night, and I still do this, I use a golf ball and I roll my feet out. And like we were saying earlier, it's like getting a foot massage without actually having to ask anybody to do it for you. But it's crazy. I spent about, I think it was 9 months doing that religiously, and I actually am at the point where I have full control of my toes, and I can do different types of toe stretches and things like that, and without pain.
Yeah, your feet were completely frozen.
Yeah, they
burned.
I don't
for all day long.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that I had trouble actually curling my toes in, like flexing my toes in. It used to actually kind of like burn and feel like I was pulling, and it was just tight to curl in my toes. And now, like I said, I have no problem stretching them and getting into different types of toe poses.
And make sure that you've already made your way up into the ball of the foot in the center. I've already worked my way up there while Bree was telling us that story. And you know, it's funny to think about that because, you know, it seems like so long ago now, but it was a major change in your life, getting into stretching and body work.
Oh yeah.
You changed your body pain completely.
Like we talked about in our very first couple of videos, I didn't used to like this type of work, but now it's what I do because I found out not only firsthand that it actually works, but actually giving it that knowledge and being able to facilitate this for other people has been phenomenal. I can't even explain it, honestly.
It is life-changing once you start
It really
doing
is.
this stuff. And
100%.
even if you're not passionate enough about it that you're going to want to get into this field and help other people, I know for sure you're going to share it with your friends and your family, because
Nobody wants to be in pain.
nobody wants to be in pain.
And we don't want to see others in pain either.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah.
And now moving over into the spine of the foot, we're going to finish off this treatment. And we're going to do some of those toe stretches that Bree was talking about. And actually, it's funny, I do remember you trying those toe poses, and
They
you did not like
They
them.
hurt so bad.
So be patient. And she's right when she says she was religious about it for like 9 straight months.
Yes. Doing both. I wasn't only doing my feet, I was doing my calves also. And I know that at first it seems like it takes a lot, but this is what, 10 minutes long?
You spent maybe 15 minutes a night.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
And you completely changed one of your major joints.
And it's worth it because it's changed so many different things. Like we were talking about earlier, your feet hold you up. I mean, it has changed the way that I've even weightlifted because of the way that I'm able to carry myself on my feet now.
Absolutely. So let's make sure you're finishing out the bottom portion of this spine of the foot. If there's anything here, go ahead and hold it. And we're going to get into some of those toe stretches. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Ooh, that was good. So we're going to do these in the chair. And what we're doing is taking our toes. Let's pretend my fingers are my toes and this is the ball of my foot. And you're trying to stretch like this, right? So I'm going to take my toe and pick my foot up just like that. Now I'm focused on the big toe here, okay? Bring the foot back and stretch. Now you may be right here, that may be enough of a stretch. You may be right here, that may be enough of a stretch, and that's okay. But if you can, bring your toe back and really stretch that big toe.
And you might be feeling some like burning, kind of real sharp pulling sensations. That's associated with fascia, okay?
Yeah, tight fascia, it burns. And sometimes it itches too.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever had a deep itch that you can't scratch, that's your body's natural way of trying to get you to break up that fascia.
Yep.
All right, and let's stretch the other big toe.
Oh, I'm doing both.
Oh, you're doing them both at
I'm
once?
just gonna go straight on.
That's
Let's
okay.
just do it.
That's all right. If you can balance and do both, feel free. I'm leaning my body weight over this toe. My feet are hyper flexible. I even have a little extra bend in my joints, which is one of the reasons I was so concerned about your feet, wanting them to be flexible. So some of my stretches are going to look a little different, but it's nice that we have 2 bodies to show you guys. All right, and let's switch back and do that other big toe, or you can keep doing what Bree's doing and stretch both of them.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my toes.
Yeah. Just real quick on these big toes, and then let's do the other one real quick. We're putting most of our pressure on that big toe to stretch it. Okay, now for this other portion, I want you to focus on those last 4 toes, like this, right? So we're gonna bring the foot in towards the center of the body, and we're not focusing on the big toe as much. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you feel like you're getting these last 4 toes to stretch?
Mm-hmm.
My toes are crazy flexible. Okay, and then let's bring in the other 4 toes, center of the body. All right, and while Bree is going to show you one more round of how to stretch them individually, I just want to add in, for those of you who might be a little bit more flexible in your feet, toe pose. So what you do in toe pose is you sit back on your heels with your feet underneath you. that's pretty good. I hope you guys got a nice treatment for your feet. Make sure you check out our calf video if you are treating your feet. You definitely need to treat your calves along with it.
It's always helpful, like we were talking about before, some of our calf muscles attach down at the bottom of your feet, so it's always good to make sure that you hit both the origin and the insertion for the muscles, okay? Plus, give your feet some loving. We all know we need it, all right?
Your feet are so important.
Yeah, seriously.
Your feet are...
And on top of that, if you guys aren't already, make sure that you guys hit follow and make sure that you guys turn on our notifications so that way you guys are getting the rest of our videos that we're putting out, okay?
Yeah, and share this with a friend. If you have somebody that you know has foot pain or that they've been struggling with plantar fasciitis, a lot of people don't get over that. A lot of people continue to suffer with those symptoms. So please share this with them because you never know who you're going to help.
Yep.
All right, well, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Have a good one.